Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Monday Musings, Danny and Friends Sports Wrap. It's presented by Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 7 locations all around the Kansas City area to go see Dr. Brad Woodle and his fine team of associates make you feel better body, mind, and spirit. If it's your back, if it's your knee, if it's anywhere. They've got a wide variety of services from simple adjustments to high-tech remedies, all at ASFCA. Let's start off by giving our best to David Lesky. He was scheduled to join us here on Monday Musings to talk about the Red Hot Royals, but he's got no voice, some kind of a short-term voice malady. He will be back at it soon and speaking well, but you can still read his great newsletter at Inside the Crown, and Mondays are free, so you can check that out today and then decide for a really minimal price, which I pay gladly, to be a full-time subscriber. And what better year to do it as the Royals are red hot. They sweep the A's. They're 10 games over 500. They celebrate the 2014 weekend in style with great pitching and good hitting. Yes, it was the A's, but the A's had been playing decent for their first 35 games or so. Not so much lately, but you got to beat who's in front of you, and they did that as well. Well, I'll be in charge of talking about that and just about everything else, but we will also welcome Rick Amos. He is the tournament director of the Korn Ferry Tour event here in Kansas City, the Advent Health Championship, which had a remarkable day, a day that basically it made SportsCenter. It didn't upstage the PGA Championship, which we'll also talk about, but it had a hometown winner in dramatic fashion in Harry Higgs, who holed out on the last hole to force a playoff and then won the playoff. And what a great story, turning the place into an absolute tizzy, and we'll talk about it all. A great event with great... I was out there yesterday, but I had another commitment, so I wasn't there till the very end. Too bad for me, but thousands of people got to enjoy the hometown Harry Higgs getting the win in the Korn Ferry Tour. We'll talk with Rick Amos about that. And the PGA Championship was dramatic as well. Came down to 2 guys after it looked like about 10 people would be in the mix. And Xander Schauffele finally gets that elusive major championship, just edging out a bull-rushing Bryson DeChambeau in a great shootout. And Schauffele birdies the last hole. We'll talk about that one. We've got all kinds of other stuff to pack in as well, our usual baseball roundup. We'll also talk about the defending NBA champions getting knocked out. The Denver Nuggets were up 20 in the third quarter and looking like they would advance to the conference finals, which seemed to be their right. Well, the Timberwolves said no, basically stopped them from scoring just about the rest of the way and ended up winning. And another surprise team, the Indiana Pacers, are in the conference finals against the Celtics after they pummeled the Knicks yesterday in another Game 7. The Premier League came down to the last day, and not unexpectedly, Manchester City, won the championship for the 4th straight year. If you don't follow that, that's the first time that's ever been done. They had to win on the final day to clinch it, which they did. If they had lost or tied, Arsenal could have won the championship. That's my team, so I was a little disappointed, but Man City gets it done. That's a much better story than what's going on with Sporting Kansas City. As their slump continues, they fell in their game 3-2, and it looked good for a while. They came out with some energy after being challenged by their coach, went up 1-0, and ended up losing 3-2. But the Kansas City Current are still unbeaten. Yes, they gave up a late goal in a 3-3 tie, but still have not lost a game in the NWSL. Well, all of that and maybe a little bit more in one big bundle here on Monday Musings, Danny and Friends Sports Wrap. It's presented by ASFCA.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Always great to catch up with Dr. Brad Woodle of Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Everybody wants to make every year a great one mentally and physically, and certainly ASFCA can help in that regard.
Chiropractic, acupuncture, physiotherapies. We're going to address the body and the mind to keep you in great shape. With winter moving into spring, we don't want to have the opportunity to get hurt or to be slow and not do what we used to do, right?
Absolutely right, and you can do that in a variety of ways.
we can. We love looking at the body and how it moves, looking at the posture and how it holds us to be strong, to be safe, and really to help us do those things we love to do.
The wide variety and range of services you can get helps in that regard at Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 7 locations all around the Kansas City area. Find the one that's most convenient for you. And for more information, visit asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed. And if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Welcome back, and let's talk Kansas City Royals. No, I can't do it as well as David Lesky of Inside the Crown, so if you want better elucidation than I may provide here, you can visit Inside the Crown today on a Monday, as Weekend Wrap is free to anybody who wants to sample it, and then he chimes in a lot during the rest of the week behind a paywall, which isn't very high pay, and so check it out. He's great, a lot of analytics, a lot of great videos, a lot of great charts, things that I can't do on a podcast. All available to you at Inside the Crown. But the story in words is that the Kansas City Royals are 29-19. They have been on a real run of late. They were sort of falling into a sort of 500 level of play after an outstanding start. But in the end, they have gotten hot once again. They have beaten the teams that they are supposed to beat, and they have done so at a great pace as they have won now. They're 10 games over 500. They haven't been that since the end of the 2015 season. They've won 3 straight, 8 of their last 11, 12 of their last 18, and they are the 3rd highest win total in all of Major League Baseball. That's not good for first place right now in the AL Central because Cleveland has been playing great ball as well. We'll check that out in our Around the American League and National League here in a little bit. But what's the bottom line here is that the Royals basically played a full-bodied weekend of good play against the A's. They scored a lot of runs. They got great pitching from all 3 of their starters, as Cole Reagans, as well as Seth Lugo and Brady Singer, all were outstanding. Reagans and Singer bouncing back from their previous starts where they weren't particularly good. Singer yesterday, 9 strikeouts, 6 innings of just 6-hit baseball, only gave up 1 run, just 1 walk. He was very tidy. They were well ahead, so he didn't have to stretch out too far, as the Royals, by the time that he left, were ahead by a count of 8-1, and they beat the Oakland Athletics 3 times. They have started to get the bats rolling a little bit. Is that a function of the Oakland A's? We'll have to wait and see, because their Tigers are coming to town, and they've got some excellent pitching, to say the least. So that'll be a pretty good test. But right now, the Royals are 4 games clear of what would be they'd be in the wild card by 4 games right now. And they are looking every bit the playoff team. I thought for a little while they were sort of looking like a team that, because they had gotten themselves well above 500 and then sort of were just playing win one, lose one type of baseball, that was kind of them. I don't know. Maybe they've turned it up a notch. Certainly certain players have. Miguel Garcia had a nice day, and he's had a great week last week, hitting 400, and he is up to 249, but he had one just horrendous streak during the course of all that. And in the end, he has started to make the top of the lineup far more productive, because Bobby Witt Jr., who had been slumping as well, he was in a 4 for 32, but he had a nice day yesterday, and hopefully that starts another hot streak for him. His OPS had been over 1,000 for a while, and he's almost back to 300 after a 2 for 3 day. The real amazing story has got to be Salvador Perez. I mean, the guy just keeps hitting. He walked yesterday. That's 14 walks. That's more than he had all of last year. He had 2 base hits. He's hitting .337. That's second best in all of Major League Baseball. Do I think he can hit for that kind of average? No, I don't. But with 14 walks, his on-base percentage is over 400. In his career, it basically is around 300 and slightly less, which is sort of a ding on him. But right now, his OPS is approaching, well, it's right around 950. And things are looking remarkable for Salvador Perez, and basically the only link to the 2014 weekend on this team as they celebrated the American League champions over the weekend, and how appropriate that Salvador Perez keeps on humming. Freddie Fermin had a couple of knocks. Hunter Renfroe continues to be a black hole in the lineup. But right now, when you're winning, it matters a little bit less. He's played pretty good defense, but still 153 with precious little power. Not very good. Vinny Pasquantino got the day off. He hadn't been going very well, but he got to come in and pinch hit and clear the bases with a triple, the first of his career. He decided for a change of luck to button his shirt up, I guess, for a change of pace. And I imagine it'll stay buttoned up now because he gets the 3 RBIs. And if they get him rolling, that certainly extends the lineup because basically yesterday the Royals had 9 hits and 6 of them came from the first 3 players in the lineup. Nelson Velazquez hit cleanup in lieu of Vinny Pasquantino. Michael Massey has actually been hitting cleanup sometimes, and Velazquez did nothing, and he's kind of done nothing this year, so that fit in with that. But the Royals didn't need it. They went over the Athletics by a count of 8-4, and yes, indeed, the Detroit Tigers are coming to town, and then it will be the Tampa Bay Rays. So another week to this homestand as the Royals try to extend this tremendous play that they have had so far. And they did so yesterday. Nice crowd, nice day, beautiful weekend. It is all pretty darn rosy now as we head towards Memorial Day, a day that often has been sort of the unofficial end of the Royal season. Not so much this time around. We'll see how the next month plays out because they've got some really good teams to play, and they've got themselves nicely over 500. We'll see if it continues because that starting pitching's been so good, and that is a great linchpin to start. Yes, starting pitching is not valued as much as it has been in the past in Major League Baseball. The pitchers don't go as deep or anything, but there sure is a great prescription for success in getting that starting pitching, maybe even if it's not as treasured as it once was. It's still, if you've got it firsthand, we are seeing that with the Kansas City Royals, how great it is on the nightly basis to have these performances that allow your offense to be at times pretty tepid and still to have tremendous amount of success. And the Royals' success, as I said, has parlayed them into the third best win total in the American League. And only the rampaging Yankees and the Guardians are better. If I said Indians before, I apologize profusely. I don't know if I did or not. It's easy to slip. Guardians, I think I've gotten into the habit of saying it right every single time, but I'm not sure. I can't check the tape while I'm talking. So anyway, the Yankees have won 7 straight games. They played the White Sox over the weekend. That's always good business for everybody. They won 8 of their last 10, and even with the Orioles winning 6 of their last 10 and rolling along at a .659 winning percentage, they're a couple games back in the American League East. Tampa, after a pretty darn sluggish start, has played good baseball. They're 12-7 over their last 19 games. They won 6 of their last 10, and we'll see them on the weekend. The Red Sox have been kind of middling, but they continued the miseries of the Cardinals over the weekend. Won yesterday big time. They're a game under 500, and that's the kind of team you start to look at as far as a team with the Tampa, the Red Sox, the Twins, of course, in their own division, Astros maybe, who have straightened it out a little bit. We'll get to that, as the kind of teams that you'll pay attention to as far as a wild card race potentially is concerned for the Kansas City Royals. And in the Central, it is in the Blue Jays, just to wrap up the East, have been very disappointing and are 5 games under 500, and their offense has been shockingly bad so far this year. The Guardians have heated up with their offense to go along with good pitching as usual. I don't think I said before the season, the Guardians just find a way to win. I mean, people probably thought this was going to be maybe a step back or a lackluster season for them. I never think that. And now they've proved that even with a new manager, with Terry Francona having retired, that hasn't hurt them either. They've won 6 of their last 10, and they had a big weekend, and they are 30-17, game and a half ahead of the Royals. Twins got swept over the weekend, and they've lost 6 games in a row after a long hot streak. That still has them a couple games over 500. The Tigers coming to town at 500, but with a plus 17 run differential and excellent pitching. They've given up just